Shalom, brothers. First and foremost, we give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh by Shemi Shai. Double honors to the elder apostles of GMS, the great millstone who rule well, and salutations to all you Akim on the highways and byways that's noising this gospel abroad on the four corners of the earth and to the ears of the elect. Alright, I'm gonna get right into it and get into the breaking up of this devil's kingdom, man, because that's just the time that we're living in, right? Prophecies is written in stone, and right now in his latter times the prophecies are starting to speak, right? And one of the prophecies is the breaking up of this wicked society, the crumbling of this world, right? When you go into Second Ezra, the 6th chapter and the 9th verse, and it talks about for Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of it that following. That word goes back to the world goes back to the world age. Matter of fact, let's get it. So this is Second Ezra, chapter 2, verse 9. Second Ezra, chapter 6, verse 9. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So Esau, that word goes back to the world age. So Esau is the end of this age, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. We know that Jacob's rulership and dominion is an everlasting dominion, a rulership, a power structure that will not be broken, because that's a power structure headed by the Lord, whom you ignorantly call Jesus Christ, whose proper name in the Hebrew tongue is Yahweh Shai, right? The Most High is our power. He's our God. The Lord is the King of Kings underneath King David and the 12 tribes of Israel, the patriots, right? Starting with Abraham, Isaac, down to Jacob, and then his 12 sons, which were the leaders of each respective tribes, which act as separate nations, but underneath the same nation. Right? So the end of this age is what we're embarking on, right? And one of the prophecies and one of the signs of this, one of the major signs of this happening is the division that you see, not just amongst the Americans, right, with the alt-right and the alt-left and the Democrat and Republicans and the rich and the poor, that wealth gap that you see, but amongst the super rich, right, and the common average peon that's running around hoping Donald Trump is gonna, or even Hillary Clinton, for that matter, it's gonna break them off a little bit of crumbs that they make. You've seen a huge division, whether it be Jacob and Esau, right, so-called Mexicans, versus those so-called Minutemen down there on the borderline. You're seeing a big division, right? And when you take a broader step of it, you see the division in the power structure that the so-called white man has set up by way of NATO, the EU, right, and America. So this conglomerate of this collaboration, right, of these power structures that operated as one big dragon, right, with separate offices, is starting to implode on itself. Alright, so I'm gonna bring out this article real quick. First article, I'll bring out the article in Newsweek, and this is in Newsweek, right, in the magazine US. It says how Trump is alienating allies and making China great again. Alright, so we know in the scriptures it says never trust thy enemy. China, the communists, the Moabites, man, they're sneaky little rats too, man. You don't never trust a goddamn Moabite, right? They're all for self. Alright, they're always looking to one up you, hoodwink you, and backstab you. So this is the downfall, because as America is trying to lean towards China, they're alienating their allies. Donald Trump is totally disrespecting European leaders, which is a big mistake, right? To the average so-called peon American, this is a great thing. To hell with the Europeans, but it's that's them in their own selfishness. But pride goes before destruction, right? That European ally is crucial to your power structure around the world, even though this new generation, they don't see it that way, right? Because let's get real quick, Matthew. Matter of fact, before I read that, let's go into this article. Then I'll go into that chapter. We're gonna read just a little bit, because these headlines, we know these things to be true, and we filter everything with the scriptures. Every now and then we kind of bring out some articles, but these things are they bolster your faith. Okay, so it says it had been the first in Angel's presidency diplomatic, a commander-in-chief getting so adored by the phone conversation with a counterpart that he barked at other leaders and slammed down the phone. 20 minutes into what was intended to be a 1-hour conversation. Why at first? Because the leader on the line, President Donald Trump, was the Prime Minister of Australia and ribbed an ally as the United States has. All right, so they're saying Donald Trump got on the phone with the Prime Minister over there in Australia, and these are allies. All right, and structured agreement in the U.S. to come set 1,200 refugees currently held in the camps in the Pacific Island. All right, Trump ran as an immigration hawk and evidently sees this episode embarrassing one of Washington's key allies. As part of a peace, getting tough on immigration by building a wall with Mexico, right? Those are our brothers down there, the so-called Mexicans, and declining to accept refugees. So that's declining to accept refugees from the Middle East. Here you have Donald Trump, right, and the so-called white man starting a war on too many fronts. That's a big mistake. When you go look into, you got books and stuff like that on the art of war and the art of war and the sword and 48 Laws of Power. All these books. Starting a war on too many fronts is something that's key to getting your ass kicked, man. Right. So what the so-called white man is doing is he's in the Middle East, right? He's in Syria. Right? He's threatening Iraq, Iran. He's in Iran. He's threatening Iran. He's in Iraq. Right? He's in Afghanistan. Right? He's in Yemen. They're in Somalia. They're in about 19, I believe, 16 different countries in Africa, doing covert wars and I think believe it's called AFRICOM. Right? So they're all over the world. Secret agent ops. They're alienating themselves and starting wars on too many fronts, and it's their pride that think that they're gonna come out on top. Now the key part is collectively they have the power to do such a thing, carnally speaking, right? But the scriptures stand because once they start fighting each other, then we know that it's a wrap for them. Matthew chapter 12. I'll start at Slocky, brother. Stay with me for a second. Alright, so like in Mark chapter 3 verse 24, and it reads, if a kingdom be divided against itself, it cannot stand. So how America is divided against itself, and not just America, but the so-called white man is divided up against itself, it can't stand. Here's another article, right? And this article is from CNN, which is fake news, but there's some things that are true in CNN. Just because it's on CNN doesn't mean that it's not true. You just gotta filter it and kind of read between the lines, so to speak. So it says British lawmakers debate banning Donald Trump from the UK for hate speech. All right, now these are supposed to be two allies, and you have British lawmakers in the Parliament debating on whether they should ban the leader of the so-called free world, the leader of one of their major allies, if not their. Matter of fact, I was going as far as to say their major ally, so-called ally. All right, so you have them British lawmakers debating on whether they should ban them. Right, this is easily a rift in in their unity. All right, here's another article, right, where it says U.S. and Turkey mutually suspend visas, services, and escalate in row. So a lot of people don't know is there was recently an attempt coup in Turkey by the U.S. military to take over the government, which was a failed attempt. All right, but a coup came from a military base in which America was based out of. In Turkey, the president of Turkey came to America and got on CNN and said that their intelligence agencies, and not just theirs but multiple other ones, had proof that America was behind a staged coup. Now, Turkey is a member in NATO. Okay, so here you have a known NATO member, right? Not a known, a NATO member that is threatening the United States of America and saying that they have proof, in which they do. It's nothing new. That they tried to do a coup in a so-called democratically.
You're really picky when it comes to your baby. At Johnson's, so are we.
Right, and it's so-called democratically. A so-called democratically elected member in your that's part of your allies. All right, so here you have again for the first U.S. and Turkey mutually suspend visas, service, and escalate in row. So now they're supposed to be allies, right? But if you're from Turkey, you can't get a visa to America, or if you're American, you can't get a visa going to Turkey. All right, so now the military alliance still holds to this day. Now, when you go, that's what I wanted to go into. Okay, when you go into Ezekiel, the 38th chapter, it talks about Gog and Magog and these other nations. Let me see. These other nations teaming up with Russia, right? To fight against the West, right? See, so this is all Bible prophecy. All right, because Tumar is where modern day Turkey is. So they gonna side with the Russians, although they're a part of NATO. It only backs up what the book of Obadiah says. All right, where it says verse 3, the pride of thy heart have deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rocks. Matter of fact, I'm gonna start at 1. The vision of Obadiah, thus saith the Lord, thus saith the Lord, power concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from the Lord, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen, thou art greatly despised. The pride of thy heart have deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the cliffs of the rocks, whose habitation is high, and saith in his heart, who shall bring me to the ground? Though thou exalt thyself as an eagle, and set thy nest amongst the stars, thence will I bring you down, saith the Lord. I want to jump to the point, right? How are the hidden things of Esau searched out? This is verse 7. How is his hidden things sought up? All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat the bread have laid a wound under thee. There is no understanding in them. Right? So these people, the confederacy goes back to your comrades, right? Your soldiers, the ones that are in a battlefield with you. So it says, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. All right, so we know through the Spirit, right? Because again, in verse 6, it says, how are the hidden things of Esau searched out? How is his hidden things sought up? They're sought up through his men. And his men understand these things through prophecy. Going back to the beginning of the chapter, it says, the vision of Obadiah, thus saith the Lord, power concerning Edom. Right? We have heard a rumor from the Lord, and an ambassador is sit among the heathen. All right, Israel holds the oracles of the Most High, so the Israelites are the ambassadors to all these heathens, right? So we're the messengers. We're Yahweh Shai's messengers, man. We're the Lord's mouthpiece. We could tell y'all what's gonna happen. We could tell y'all that nations like Turkey, the UK, right, France, all these other nations are gonna turn their back on you and betray you in this Third World War. Nations like Turkey, right? We could show you these things. You're not gonna listen because prophecy has to be fulfilled. This is Revelation chapter 17, verse 16. Revelation chapter 17, verse 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore. That whore represents Babylon, aka America, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. Going back to those thermonuclear missiles that's going to be launched over here in this Third World War. Alright? So what you're seeing right now is the beginning stages of the total collapse of the so-called white man's kingdom, going back to Second Ezra's. Second Ezra's, I read it again, chapter 6, verse 9. For Esau is the end of the world, age, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth, rulership, righteousness, and dominion, an end of an age of wickedness, a war, of disease, of famine, of plagues, where the righteous are frowned upon, and wickedness is held up high to a high standard, right? Women like Cardi B and sluts are held to a high standard, all right? So the fighting that you're seeing, right, amongst the so-called white man and his the EU, right, going back and forth because Donald Trump is totally alienating himself, alienating America with this American First agenda, in which Satan is pushing forth towards a new world agenda where everybody is harmonizing together, but that divide is what's going to take them down. It's Isaiah chapter 19, verse 2. And I will set the Egyptian against the Egyptian, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. Right. So this is the end. This is the beginning of the end to the so-called white man's society, to his rulership, to his power structure, to his economically, financially, emotionally, spiritually. Right. So-called white man is not as spiritual as he believed. When you check out the numbers of people that go to church, those numbers are way down. The divorce rate is way up. All right, white people having babies out of wedlock is way up. All right, if you get married in America, you have a higher chance of getting divorced. All right, the money is not the same. Your money is watered down. Your money is powerless around the world. Right, they're back in the yen. All right, Russia. Matter of fact, there was just an article that just came out about Russia and Pakistan, right, and China getting together and conducting the hugest business. China is going to be conducting the hugest foreign business since the reconstruction of Europe after the Second World War. All right, so the American dollar is about to implode. All right, the economy is about to crack. Donald Trump is in office. There's a huge divide. There's a huge division. The racial tension is building. These are all signs of the end of a kingdom, man. So with that, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Hope the message was conveyed that the division is going to cause the destruction of this place, man. Division is going to cause the destruction of this place. Matter of fact, I'm just get this one scripture real quick. And it's quick and it's swift. This is Daniel chapter 2, verse 42, just to put the icing on the cake. And as the tools of his feet were part iron and part clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. Right? And it's going into the Esau's kingdom. You got the nation of pigs, Portugal, Italy, Greece, and Spain. right? The Brexit, right? The British falling out of the EU, the European Union, all right? Germany upholding the European Union. All right, so there you have it, man. With that, all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, double honors to the elders, apostles of GMS, the great millstone of Ruel, and salutations to all you Akim on the highways and byways. Tell your brothers to keep pushing. Pray for me, pray for one another, pray for each other. Watch as well as pray. Do what you can, man. Lord willing, that we hold fast and the Heavenly Father has mercy on us and He finds us worthy to deliver us out of this hellhole. Shalom.